Hi, I'm Mike Coyle from Insidexploration. I'm here with Michel Fontaine of Albert Mining, who trades on the TSX Venture under the symbol AIIM. Thanks, Michel, for taking the time to meet with me today.
Thanks, Mike.
So can we just start by getting into your business a little bit? Explain to us how Albert Mining came to acquire Diagnose and where the whole idea of applying artificial intelligence in the mining sector came from.
Yeah, when we began in 2005, Diagnose was working on different sectors. We were working on healthcare, music, mining, not mining in 2000, that was more foreign exchange. But what you need to understand is when you're talking about artificial intelligence, you can use the algorithms on different sectors. That's why, people, they think and we create, different algorithm on different sectors, but we can use, the same thinking on different sectors using the same way, to use algorithms.
So having said that, you mentioned you got into the healthcare system. What other avenues are you using your algorithms for?
Right now, what we can do, we're focusing our time on the mining, but we can work on anti-personnel mine or landmines using exactly the same thinking, using the data, because on landmines, we can work with mag data, and on the mining, we're working every day, every project we're using this geophysics and this kind of geophysics. And what we can do is we can work. We began to check on the internet. Then some company they began to work using geophysics again, mag and radiometry, to find water. That's why we want to, in the future, we should begin to work to find water using exactly the same thinking that we're doing on the mining.
So you can actually utilize this technology to identify water sources in, say, third world countries?
Right now, as you know, we're working on the mining, but we can work on groundwater exploration, and we can work on anti-personnel land mines.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And because on this two different, if we're talking about groundwater exploration, they're using geophysics, mag and radiometry to find, to extract the signature of your of the source, the water source that you already discovered in the past, and that is exactly the same thinking. We can go to extract using geophysics this exact area where you already found water, and tell you if we can find exactly the same pattern, on another area where we can have the same geophysics survey. And on the landmines, that is exactly the same thinking. Okay, we will use mag, we will use drones to do the geophysics, and we will go to extract the signature on some anti-personnel mines. Then we will to go to extract the signature, and when we will find back, we will tell you exactly where the anti-personnel mine, they are already on the ground.
So basically some of the areas that have been left behind from World War II that are currently restricted zones, you can make those areas accessible again for future use.
Exactly. And before, the biggest problem was the spacing line of the airborne survey, because you were using helicopter and plane. But right now, we can use drones, to do the mag.
Bring spacing tighter.
They have a new technology. They arrived maybe 2 years ago. Then we can shrink the size of your spacing line by maybe 2 inches to what you want. That's why we can use the way that we working on the mining to replicate on groundwater and landmines exploration.
So back to mining, is there a particular mineral that would be more easily identified with your technology than another?
It's a good question, Mike. When we began in 2005, our first contract was for kimberlites in Brazil. And our client, Diagem, at that time, on this first project, we gave them 21 targets. They went to validate 6 of these targets, and they found 5 kimberlites. Everything is public. If you go to my website, you will see on every discovery that our client did in the past, we were public. We put a news release. But we work on kimberlites. After that, we work on base metals. We can work on gold, on nickel, on zinc, on iron ore, what you want. Okay, what we need to understand is exactly the same thinking, but I think after all this year, it's 14 years that we're doing this.
Yeah.
And I think it's easier to find a mass. We're talking about a VMS deposit, or we're talking about a nickel, a base metal. It's more a mass. It's easier to find a mass than to follow a gold veins. It's good to find some gold. We already found, many outcrops, gold outcrops in the past for our client. And but gold is gold. Okay, gold. Gold disappear. You can follow the veins, and you have one fault. Going down. 20 meters below. And I think in the future we will focus our time for base metal project. But it's very good for gold too. But gold it's tougher.
How would you say your technology benefited Noble Minerals in their most recent discovery?
With Noble, what we are in the Timmins area. It's cover. The biggest problem right now is we cannot see the rocks. And the only way, to extract some information on this ground is to use geophysics, geochemistry, and some other tools. Because on geophysics, we can do the mag, electromagnetic, the spectrometry, radiometry, everything. And when we use our tools, the penetration of the geophysics is going between 0 and 200 meters. What's going on after 200 meters? Yes, we can use VTEM. VTEM can give you, more information deeper. But when we're talking about Noble, we're talking about geophysics penetration between 0 and 200 meters. What's going on after? I don't know. That's why what we can do, we assist, the geologists, of Noble, and what we're going to extract some information, on every area where someone found nickel in the past, and we're using algorithms to extract some pattern on every area, where you found nickel, and based on this algorithm, it will tell us exactly which variable they're driving the show, and we will creating a brand new nickel pattern signature. And after this step, we just put on the side the algorithms, and we're using another software, data mining. We just ask the software, do your job, go to score every cell to find back, the new nickel pattern signature we just create. And when he found you back, these patterns, it tell you exactly where you should go to focus. That shrink the size of your project by maybe 97, 98%. And when it's covered, if we can shrink the size of your project by 90, 97, 98%, you can save a lot of time and a lot of money. And if they begin to hit the same that Noble hit, I know exactly, the size of this project is maybe 3.5 kilometers long.
Wow.
I know that can be a huge discovery.
And you said covered. When you say covered, you mean by overburden, correct?
Overburden, yes. In Timmins, and this area we should be covered by between 20 and 30 meters overburden.
Oh, wow.
That's why if you go there, if you check all on the Ontario government database, not a lot of outcrop discovery. If you check, on the on this database, we extract more information about drill holes than outcrops. That's why it's this kind of tools can assist the geologists by telling them exactly where to go and be very precise where you should go to drill.
Yeah, so I guess that would help every company's bottom line from an expense perspective, where instead of having to explore the entire property, they can really minimize and hone in on the particular targets that you're able to identify with cards.
Yeah, we're talking a lot. We signed a lot of projects in the past with junior company. And as you know, junior companies, they don't have a lot of money right now. It's a tough time for everyone. But if you are already producing, some gold or some copper or some nickel, what you want to find, if you already invest, $500 million to build a mill, what you want to find is something close to your mill.
Yes.
And this kind of tool can extract, the signature of your deposit or your mine, and go to score around, to find back exactly the same signature on the same geological context. Mm-hmm. That can save you a lot of time. Everyone in the future, I can tell you, I can give you a prediction. In 5 to 10 years, everyone will use this kind of tool. Mm-hmm. But again, I know we are the future, and I know in the next maybe 1 year or two, we will have more discovery using this tool than before. Mm-hmm. Because with our new business model, then we will validate a lot more target generated by our tool.
So you said new business model. I think this is a question a lot of investors have. They don't really understand how you're going about generating revenue moving forward. So can you give us a little bit of insight as to how you're going to move forward?
We are so confident about our tool that we want to invest on our clients. We want to grab a small part in shares, because the only way to make money is if the client find something on my targets, their share increase, and if I own, if Albert owns 1, 2, 3 million shares of this company, the only way to make money is this. It's not just to sell services.
So Michel, my understanding is that this technology can be done in 2D and 3D. Can you explain the differences between the two of them and what the benefits are between them?
What we have done in the past, we already signed for close to $15 million on revenues. Mm-hmm. Most of this revenues was service contract in 2D. Mm-hmm. We did 2 projects in 3D, with 2 different companies. But when we're talking about 2D, we're talking about cells. Mm-hmm. And but when we're talking about 3D, we're talking about cubes. And when you want to work in 3D, you oblige to inverse the geophysics. To put some number on every cubes, because we're talking about X, Y, Z, and on every location where someone found gold, on every cubes, we will go to extract the exact signature of this cube, and on every area where you found some gold, we will do exactly the same to create a brand new gold pattern signature. And after that, that's the same thinking than 2D. 2D, we just using the data mining software to score every cells. In 3D, we're scoring every cubes to find back the brand new gold pattern signature we just create. And it's exactly the same thinking, but again, in 3D it's tough to interpolate the data. They have maybe much more extrapolation because we're working on 3D. But again, this tool is good in 2D and 3D, and in the future we should work more in 3D, and what we'll do.
So this technology has been around for about 15 years. Pretty safe to say that it's been learning over that time frame. Is this a process of just adding data to it, or do you have to put more money into the system to get it to advance? Can you explain to us the advancement of it?
Good question. As you know, when you're talking about technology, we always need to refine, the software. We're always learning, because if you check what we have done in 2005 and what we're doing today, it's not the same way, to use our technology. Because if we're talking about the algorithms, we were working on using negative and positive training point in 2005, and we add another way to modelize the data to just use positive training point in 2010, 2011. As you know, in 2009 was a tough time, and we had a lot of time to begin to work on our technology. That's why we began to use neighboring variables, and we developed another way. We tweak some algorithms, and that's why we are able to work just using positive training point today. But same thing with our data mining software. It's our maybe 5th version on this software, and the only way to work with data mining is to use a very powerful algorithm, and that is exactly what we're doing right now.
How long does it take for your computer system to be applied and then to actually identify these targets? Is it a matter of weeks? Is it a matter of months? Or is it even just a matter of days?
Very good question, Mike. Depend on the size of the project. If we're talking about a 300 square kilometers project with a resolution at 200 meters, that can take maybe between 5 and 7 weeks.
Okay.
5 to 6 weeks. But if we talk about 2,000 square kilometers with a resolution to 50 meters, that we're working with million and million of cells. That's usual, to take more time. That's why that can take between 8 to 11 weeks.
Okay, so it's within a few months time frame though that this
exactly. And when the data arrive on our side, okay, we need to check the geophysics. Sometimes we need to level the geophysics. Sometimes we need to digitize some report, to grab more training point, more outcrops or drill holes. Depend of the work we need to do. Every project are different. That's why it's. But usually we can do the job between 6 to 8 weeks.
When a company approaches you and they have a pre-existing set of data from all their previous tests, is more data more beneficial to you, or is less data more beneficial to you?
Is more we can bring some data, better will be the prediction. But if I check all the work we have done in the past on some project, okay, we have done two projects for Codeco in Chile, and we were certain that we were working with maybe MAG, EM, radiometry, but when the data arrived, just MAG, topography, that's it. And we're working with one of the biggest copper producers in the world. And if I check all the discovery we have done for different companies, okay, most of this project we use MAG EM topography or MAG topography, or more you can have variables, better should be the prediction. But again, if I check what we have done on many discovery, we just had one MAG and EM and topography, or just EM and topography. That's why you're not obliged to grab a lot of variables, but we are obliged to use geophysics. Geophysics for us, it's very, 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 very important. As you know, the best place to find a mine is where? Is beside the mine.
That's right.
That's why I think this tool is, the power of this tool is to use where you can grab a lot of information. We're talking about drill holes and outcrops. We cannot use boulder information. And on different mining camp, if we're talking about the Cadillac mining camp or close to different mines, you can grab a lot more information than in some area than someone went there and we can find just one outcrops. and we can go to extract the signature on different deposits on the same geological context and tell you exactly where to go, because the biggest problem, the worldwide problem right now, is the overburden. You cannot see the rocks. You have some rock specialists, they cannot see the rocks. That is the biggest problem right now.
Yep.
You can go in Nevada, in Colombia, in Australia, everywhere in Canada. That is the same problem. That's why everyone should use this type of tools.